welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com. In today's news, Miss Kathlyn Archibald-Drew crowned Mrs. BVI 2021.
And the person arrested following Saturday's deadly boating accident, which has claimed the life of one male, has been discharged.
We also see the family of Miya Marcano calling for the police deputy to be fired. Also, a lawsuit launched against Arden Villas.
And government lifts territory-wide curfew and gathering restrictions for all occasions, except events, and COVID cases down to just 4. And we also see CCTV footage and cell phone evidence linked the 4 persons accused of murdering Matthew Daly to his death. We get to these and more stories when 284 News returns.
You value traditions.
Today,
You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
A pleasant welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 19th, 2021, coming to you back from a very long weekend. We are so happy to be here. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kamal Haynes, coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. We start with some recent news where the person who initially was arrested following the fatal boat accident, which resulted in the death of a Fat Hogs Bay resident on Saturday, October 16th, has been discharged pending further investigations. But this was confirmed by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force today, Tuesday, October 19th, via a media release which confirmed the name of the deceased as Frandy Martin Jr. What the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force stated, and I quote, "Initial investigations indicate that sometime after 6:15 p.m., 2 motor vessels collided in the waters outside Prospect Reef. On board the 40-foot monohull Blue Bayou was a captain and 4 passengers, while on board the other, a 35-foot contender with the name Yaya, was a captain and 2 passengers. With the 3 persons on board the Yaya received severe injuries. Frandy Martin Jr., a resident of Fat Hogs Bay, subsequently died of his injuries, and the 2 others, a male and a female, are presently receiving treatment at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital. Well, of the 5 on board the Blue Bayou, 2 minors were treated and discharged, and a female continues to receive treatment at the hospital." End quote. Well, police say inquiries are continuing to determine the cause of the collision. And we at 284 News send our condolences to the family of Mr. Martin, and we will be updating the public as more information comes to hand regarding this tragic incident.
Quite an unfortunate incident. I think the news really rocked the territory. The man that lost his life was seemingly very well known, really adding to the musical history in the British Virgin Islands, and of course in so many facets, extending himself to the community, and you know, again, such a grave loss, but really trusting that the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force within their investigations can come to some form of justice, so as we begin to ascertain what exactly happened over this weekend. But quite a tragedy, and again, our heartfelt sympathies are with the family and friends of the deceased. Now, viewers, as we move on, Mrs. Kathlyn Archibald-Drew was crowned Miss British Virgin Islands 2021 during a highly anticipated live coronation held last Sunday. Now, the day after the event, Kathlyn took to Facebook to express her deep appreciation for the journey thus far. Kathlyn said, and I quote, "Words cannot begin to describe how shocked yet elated I felt being crowned Miss British Virgin Islands last evening. Thank you to all my sponsors and supporters for everything you have done, funding and encouraging me throughout this experience. Thank you to my family and friends for your overwhelming love and support on a daily basis. My BVI, this is not just about the crown, but about taking us to higher levels where we can preserve and share our rich history and prosperous culture. Our work begins," the Queen said. Now, viewers, an intellectual front runner from the beginning of this pursuit, this stunning locked beauty entered Sunday night's competition with an edge over the other contestants after securing the top score for the personal interview that was initially held on October 7th. Now, Archibald-Drew later copped the Miss Intellect accolade. The newly crowned queen will receive a $3,000 cash prize, a $25,000 educational grant, a brand new CRV 2021, that is, a weekend villa getaway courtesy of Sotheby's, and a photo shoot from John Black's studio, as well as a spa treatment from Driftwood Spa, a formal gown, compliments of the dressing room, a Kipling luggage set, a cell phone with free service, of course, compliments of CCT, and an article in VI's Life and Style magazine. Now, viewers, coming in real close was contestant number 3, Miss Jarena Penn. She came in first runner-up and arose as a crowd favorite. In a recent post to the public, Jarena said, and I quote, "Thank you for embracing me. Thank you for raising your voice in solidarity against rape. Thank you for being a beacon of hope. Thank you for the moral, emotional, and financial support. I am committed to representing our beautiful territory and, of course, restoring what it means to be woman and girl in these Virgin Islands." End of quote. Now, viewers, Jarena won a significant amount of categories, inclusive of Best Cell BVI, Best Swimwear, Best Evening Wear, Best Introduction, Most Poised, and Miss Popularity, which allowed residents across the territory to vote for their favorite contestant leading up to the event. Her prizes include a $2,000 cash prize, dinner for 2 at Wyndham Resort, a photo shoot from Wireless Photography, and a $100 certificate from True Nail Bar, as well as a Crystal Award. Now, also outstanding on that night was pageant veteran Mrs. Sylvana Charles, whose well-executed Cell BVI entry really captivated the crowd's attention. Sylvana's prizes include a $1,500 cash prize, one night stay at Sebastian's by the Sea, a one-night stay, dinner for 2 at Indigo House, a photo shoot courtesy of Wireless Photography, and a runner-up Crystal Award. Now, viewers, the other contestants included Miss Reba Smith, who also was awarded Best Cultural Dress, Shanae Walters, who was voted Miss Congeniality, and of course, Kiana Cameron, who secured the Miss Photogenic Award, as you can see on the screen, those 3 beautiful ladies. Now, the newly appointed chairman, Mrs. Natalie Hodge, and the team highly applauded the girls for their, they were highly applauded actually for their innovation in being able to offer a hybrid opportunity to view the pageant, whether in person or virtually. In an invited comment, Ms. Hodge said, and I quote, "I think the girls did extremely well, and my committee and I applaud them for their courage and perseverance, despite the many challenges faced. As a new committee, we are pleased with the execution of the pageant. Of course, as with anything you do, there are always areas you can identify for improvement, and we will strive to improve those areas." She continued, "We all look forward to supporting Miss Kathlyn Archibald-Drew during her reign. We also want to extend special thanks to the Virgin Islands Festivals and Fairs Committee, along with Mrs. Luz Hodge Smith, for their continued support throughout the journey." End of quote. Now, viewers, as you know, with the physical seats being sold out early, the committee quickly improvised to offer watch parties at several spots, including Hangover Bar, Pier 1 Cocktail Bar, Coconut Lounge, and Bambouche. Residents also had the opportunity, the other option rather, to watch the Miss BVI pageant via pay-per-view for a fee of $20. Mrs. Hodge expressed that the committee was very pleased to be able to accommodate persons from the USVI, neighboring Caribbean islands, the US mainland, and the UK via that pay-per-view platform. Of course, we do know that the predecessor Queen Bria Smith made history by being the very first person to reign for 2 long years. And come on, like we know, we've been following the contestants, we've been following the pageants, very highly anticipated. And of course, we do know that when you think about pageants and the BVI, it's really synonymous with BVI culture and BVI festival. And I recall just on Friday afternoon, just seeing the motorcade and getting all the feels. I feeling for the very first time, like I think since the advent of COVID, feeling like, yes, we're getting back to some level of normalcy. So I really do applaud all of these girls for the work that they've done, even leading up to the pageant with their various respective platforms that are very relevant and important, and implore them to continue that work. But for now, we want to congratulate our very own Queen, Mrs. Kathlyn Archibald-Drew. Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed. Well, viewers, up next, government lifts territory-wide curfew and gathering restrictions for all occasions except events, and COVID cases down to just 4. And we also see 18 Eslyn, Henley, Richiez students receiving certificates. We get to these stories after a word from our sponsors. Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, the government of the Virgin Islands has removed the territory-wide curfew order and has lifted the previous limited gathering number for all occasions except for events, following the decline of active COVID-19 cases in the BVI, which now stands at 4. Well, this was revealed in a government commission bulletin which confirmed that the order removing the restrictions was published in the government's official gazette on Friday, October 15. Was speaking on the arrangements was Minister of Health Carvin Malone, who updated residents on the new regulations in a subsequent media broadcast.
Cabinet met on Wednesday, the 13th of October, and have made decisions to ease a number of areas that we have been examining. Cabinet have looked at Section 4 of the Public Health COVID-19 Control and Suppression Measures and is now amended to read in 4.1, subject to subsection 2, there shall be no restrictions on gatherings except in the case of an event. 2, the organizers of an event and the proprietors of the premises hosting the event shall ensure A, that the physical distancing protocols and sanitization measures are adhered to, and B, that attendance at the event is restricted to no more than 1 person per 9 square feet, unless otherwise approved by the Minister for Health and Social Development. In 4.3, for the purposes of this section, event includes A, social occasions or activities, including parties, festivals, etc. B, organized sporting events. And C, business events, including conventions, conferences, meetings, etc. Cabinet, in order to attain the 9 square feet rule, have amended sections 11.2 and section 12.2a of the principal order and replaced 6 feet where the distance was required to that of 3 feet.
Minister Malone also spoke on Cabinet's decision to remove the long-standing curfew order, which lasted from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Cabinet has also looked in terms of the curfew order and through the statutory instrument number 128 have revoked the curfew order that was in effect for over the past weeks. In other words, the curfew that existed has been revoked.
Viewers, in the meantime, the territory's latest epidemiological report dated Thursday, October 14th, revealed a drastic decline in active positive COVID-19 cases. Well, according to the report, at the time, there were only 4 positive COVID-19 cases recorded in the territory and 0 hospitalizations. Well, the data also revealed that a total of 17,607 persons were fully and partially vaccinated, with 15,468 fully vaccinated. But Javon, this was some really good news on the eve of Friday to hear that there was no longer any curfew, and also the fact that there were only 4 cases in the territory. I'm sure a lot of persons would have welcomed it. This is the first time I would have also seen so many persons actually repost the news with the whole, no curfew, Friday evening, long weekend.
Yeah.
Let's have a party.
Yeah, and everybody surely did have a party. Thankfully, we saw persons abiding by those protocols, but I think it really comes as a relief, not only for persons and residents within the territory, but for businesses as well. A lot of businesses, especially those that operate within our, nighttime hours, were really suffering with the curfew. So I'm very happy to see this curfew being lifted, and us really learning to police ourselves, because that is what it's about. It's not about keeping COVID at 0, which is impractical. It's really about how do we begin to live with COVID-19, to cope with it and coexist with it, because it doesn't seem to be something that is going to be going away anytime soon. So I'm happy to see the government really putting that responsibility now in the hands of the people, and also trusting that persons can abide by those protocols. Now, as we move on, viewers, 18 students of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center have received certificates for development through the United Kingdom-based award scheme development and accreditation network that is ASDAN. Now, the Chief Medical Officer, Mrs. Connie George, said that the ASDAN is an education charity and awarding organization providing regulated qualifications, accredited curriculum programs, as well as a range of other courses to help young people develop knowledge and skills for learning, work, and life, which is used mainly by learners with varying disabilities. Mrs. George said, and I quote, "The goal is to engage them through relevant and motivating courses to achieve meaningful learning outcomes, which elevates them to go on to further education, training, and work, and empower them to take control of their lives." End of quote. Now, viewers, the Special Education Officer, Mrs. Afia Smith, said that the Eslyn Henley Learning Center and BVI services currently utilize some of the programs, and persons are certified in various modules. Mrs. Smith said, and I quote, "Presently, the courses, New Horizons and Transitions are being used with younger learners and towards independence with older learners. There are other options in the courses offered which might be even more suitable for students at mainstream secondary levels that can be explored on the website, that is www.asdan.org.uk." End of quote. Now, viewers, the cohort of students receiving certifications from January 2018 to June 2021, with a total of 18 past and present students. The certificates are for the following programs/courses provided by the Ministry of Education. We have Stepping Stones, Book 1 to 6 students. We have Horizons, New Horizons, that is 3 students with 15 modules. We also have Transition Challenge with 10 students with 48 modules. And also finally, Towards Independence, 14 students with 65 modules. Kamal, we continue to hear about the importance of inclusion within our education system. I'm very happy to see that despite the damages of the Eslyn Henry Learning Center being, devastated throughout the atrocities of 2017, the hurricanes, I'm happy to see that, first of all, they're also being housed at the Althea Catholic Primary School, but also still moving forward with the educational agenda and ensuring that our students, no matter who they are, that they have a fair and effective education throughout their academic pursuits. So I'm very happy to see this, and I wish them all the best. One of the things too as well I was very pleased with to see, just recently we celebrated Reading is Fun Week, and the students of the Eslyn Center as well represented at the Altius Lift Poetry Competition that was judged by some of our veterans, including April Glasgow. Just a really amazing week culminating at the school. And I'm really happy to see that even the Eslyn Henley Learning Center students came forward, they read their poems, and of course was a part of that process. So kudos to them.
Indeed, always good it's always good when education wins. You know, obviously we would have heard a lot of back and forth regarding education over the last few weeks, and this last couple days, especially with reading week, was very pleasing to hear such good news. And we actually see what, you know, the educators who are working extremely hard, what they're doing. We're seeing the results of their very, very hard work.
Absolutely.
Well, viewers, up next, CCTV footage and cell phone evidence links the 4 persons accused of the murdering Matthew Daly to his death, and evidence reveals a murder for hire. And we also see the family of Miya Marcano calling for the police deputy to be fired. We get to these stories when 284 News returns.
The wait is over. CCTV Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCTV Fiber network. CCTV Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctvvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, the 4 murder accused in the homicide of the late Matthew Daly has been linked by CCTV camera footage and cell phone evidence. As court hears, it was a murder for hire hit involving the 4 men. But this was revealed when the 4 accused, which include Edward Crook, DeJohn Benjamin, Michael Ormond, and Keyon Chukutu, appeared before Magistrate Kadeen Palmer during a virtual hearing on Friday, October 15. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Mrs. Tiffany Scatliff-Esprit, presented some of the evidence in the case, which she said concluded that Daly was a target of a hit that involved financial remuneration paid to the 4 accused. Well, according to the DPP, the 4 accused were taken into custody on October 20, 2020, and their phones were confiscated for investigative analysis, which revealed a series of conversations between the quartet referring to getting the fish or setting up the fish, who was later confirmed to be Daly. Viewers, that was October 2020, just to be clear. Well, on the day of Daly's murder, which was September 10, evidence revealed constant communication between Daly and Crook as early as 9 a.m. up until after 1 p.m., less than an hour before Daly's bullet-riddled, lifeless body was discovered in Spring Gov't. Well, the DPP also revealed that several times after Daly communicated with Crook, cell phone evidence showed that Crook then immediately contacted Ormond. Well, she further said that there are a couple instances discovered via CCTV footage which showed that Daly was trailed by the accused on the day on different occasions. Well, she said Benjamin and Chukutu were in one vehicle and they were seen trailing Daly on the morning of his death around 11 a.m. And then after 1 p.m., Ormond's vehicle was seen trailing Daly in the area of Spring Gov't, where his body was later discovered. The DPP revealed that Daly's last phone call was around 1:06 p.m. to Crook, who then immediately called for Ormond, who was last spotted trailing Daly. Well, she said that between 1:07 p.m. and 1:10 p.m., all 3 vehicles with the 4 accused were spotted traveling from the Spring Gov't area, one behind the other. Following the gathering of this new evidence, Mrs. Esprit said the 4 accused were all rearrested on October 2021 and all denied involvement in the murder. Crook is being represented by attorney Stephen Daniel, Benjamin by Michael Major, Chukutu by Renela Rollins, and Ormond by Valerie Gordon. The men have been remanded to Her Majesty's prison at Balsam Gov't until November 24.
All right, viewers, as we move on, the family of Miya Marcano responded to a heavily redacted incident report that was released by the Orange County Sheriff. The disappearance and slaying of the 19-year-old college student Miya Marcano has inspired a movement of activism for safety, security measures, and more attention to missing persons. Now, Marcano's family's lawyer, Daryl Washington, said he's representing the family to ensure all possible was done for the security and search of the woman. His firm released a statement Saturday asking for the resignation of the Orange County deputy involved in her case. Now, the statement said, Miya was failed by officials who had the ability to protect her and act with a sense of urgency, but did not view this incident as a priority. End of quote. Now, viewers, Marcano was a resident and office staff at the Arden Villas apartments near UCF. The Valencia College student was last seen around 5 p.m. September 24 after finishing her shift at the complex and heading back home. After an 8-day search that spanned 3 counties and several agencies, including the FBI, her body was turned up in a wooded area near Timberscan Apartments on October 2nd. Now, viewers, the only suspect in our case, 27-year-old Armando Manuelo Caballero, was a maintenance man at the Arden Villas who used a master maintenance key fob to illegally enter her apartment and lie in and wait to attack her, Orange County Sheriff John Mina said. Caballero had expressed an interest in Marcano many times before but was rejected, the sheriff said. Caballero was found dead of apparent suicide on September 27th, just 3 days after Marcano went missing. Now, viewers, Washington, the family's lawyer, said in a statement, and I quote, a heavily redacted incident report was released by the Orange County's office, and he said this leaves even more questions on the inconsistencies, he said, that contradicts witness statements. Now, according to the OCSO incident report, after Marcano's mom first reported her missing, Deputy Samir Paulino was the officer who showed up at Marcano's apartment to check on her. The reportman stated that he received no answer at the door, checked behind the building, and through Marcano's window, spoke to a friend and noted nothing out of the ordinary. Now, viewers, that night, the report stated Marcano's family showed up to investigate and confront Caballero and had Paulina speak with the suspect as they caught the encounter on video. Washington said Marcano's family had witnesses told the deputy Caballero that Caballero made Marcano feel uncomfortable and he also harassed her. Yet, Paulina let Caballero drive away. The statement said, and I quote, we believe that Deputy Paulina had more than enough evidence to detain Caballero, end of quote. Now, viewers, the statement also said that Mina ratified Paulina's actions to allow Caballero to leave when he said, and I quote, Paulina could not detain Caballero based on a hunch, end of quote. Now, viewers, Mina, in a press conference, which is the head deputy, said everything possible to the department was done to find Marcano. Mina said, and I quote, the person responsible for Mia's death is Armando Caballero. She was left dead at Timberscan Apartments before we were even ever called, end of quote. Washington's statement said it holds Arden Villa's lack of security protocols responsible as well for Marcano's subsequent death. It said both the OCSO agency and the complex were slow to react. The statement said the outcome may have been different, the statement said, and Sheriff Mina's assertion that the way the investigation was handled or mishandled would not have mattered because Miya was already dead is simply ridiculous, without any support, and a very insensitive statement. End of quote. Now, Kamal, we've been following this story for a very long time. Clearly, Miya had heritage roots to the British Virgin Islands. Her mom, a British Virgin Islander, her father, Trinidadian, but nevertheless, a very tragic incident that saw her maintenance guy illegally entering into her apartment. And as you continue to unravel the details of this story, again, like the lawyer said, so many questions are left unanswered. Now, the police report that was highly anticipated finally revealed that there were lots of inconsistencies. And I know the family in particular have been saying very publicly from inception that the police really dragged their foot on this case, especially since so much video footage was provided and evidence against Caballero. the head deputy saying that it was not enough evidence to make an arrest, and by that time Miya would have already been dead. But I see lots of persons really mobilizing and calling for the deputy to now be held accountable. In addition to that, just a few hours ago, we're recognizing as well that Miya's family has officially launched a lawsuit against the Arden Villas. One of the things we've been hearing is as Caballero stepped out of the car 4 o'clock that morning, a key dropped from his foot onto the ground. That key was actually used to access Miya's apartment. And so the family has been calling for the apartment villa to release the footage that would have supported an arrest. However, that was not that did not happen. So clearly here are lots of aggravating details, and we're trusting that truly justice can be served in this case because it's really tragic.
Indeed, and obviously as these developments continue to unfold, it's even more heartbreaking to hear what would have initially taken place. Well, viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And my name is Javon Wilson. Have a beautiful night. Bye-bye.